As 2026 begins, let's take one final look at India's shopping carts because they tell us a lot about how the country really spent money in 2025. And this year, Indians did not buy more, they bought smarter. E-commerce surged to over $211.5 billion, growing strongly every year. At the same time, apps like Blinkit, Zepto and Swiggy Instamart made forgetting milk, snacks or even batteries a 10-minute inconvenience instead of a full grocery run. Blinkit alone controlled 45% of the quick commerce market. Festive shopping turned into a national event with online and offline sales together touching over 6 trillion rupees. And the Kiranas, well, they never went anywhere. Local sales still moved 70% of India's FMCG or fast-moving consumer goods. But now, many of them accepted UPI, track inventory digitally, and deliver through apps. Fashion and electronics led to discretionary spending, while groceries quietly became the app default. In short, India shopped fast, smart and with intent. So, what exactly did India buy? Where did Indians buy it from? And what does this all say about India's economy? Let's begin with online first. Flipkart and Amazon turned 2025 into a full-blown shopping battlefield. Flipkart ended the year with around 180 million users. Amazon with about 150 million users. But the real story came from smaller cities. Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns accounted for nearly 60% of all new online shoppers. Add to that the rapid rise of social commerce platforms like Meesho, and suddenly small-town India looked less like a market and more like a mall. But what exactly filled those carts? Was it just kurtas and earbuds? Fashion led the charge with around $15 billion in e-commerce sales driven by trend-first collections and rapid drops that grew almost 4 times in a single year. Electronics followed, crossing $20 billion online, even as many shoppers preferred a hybrid approach, which is research online, buy offline. Groceries and quick commerce together contributed roughly $24 billion, reflecting how convenience became non-negotiable. Beauty and wellness products performed strongly, especially during the festive season. Gold and jewelry retained their cultural pull, accounting for about 10% of festive spending, while FMCG grabbed 12% and durables 7%. Quick commerce, though, was the real plot twist of 2025. Blinkit, Zepto, Swiggy Instamart, they all turned impulse buying into an industry. Oops, I forgot the milk became a 10-minute story instead of an entire trip to the store. Blinkit led the pack with 45% market share and over 9,400 crore rupees in gross order value, up a staggering 134% year-on-year. Zepto followed with roughly 21 to 28% market share and revenues of over 11,100 crore rupees, while Swiggy Instamart expanded operations to 124 cities across the country. By the end of the year 2025, nearly 2/3 of all e-grocery purchases were happening through quick commerce apps. Instant gratification, absolutely. But even in this digital-first India, offline shopping still held emotional and economic value. India's 13 million kirana stores continue to dominate, moving 70% of FMCG sales. Nearly half of them are now digital or phygital, combining physical presence with digital tools. About 45% of consumers blended online and offline shopping, while malls reinvented themselves with experience-driven phygital formats. And rural India, well, they too played a key role, contributing 28% of festive sales. clear evidence that offline retail is evolving, not disappearing. So, what trends defined Indian shopping in 2025? Well, small towns drove 60% of new online customers. Trend-first fashion grew fourfold. Social commerce platforms surged and GST cuts helped fuel a festive Bachat Utsav mindset, encouraging both essential and lifestyle spending. Rural e-commerce adoption accelerated sharply, rounding off a year which was less about impulse buying and more about value, convenience, and choice. So what does this all mean? Well, it means India shopped with intention. Apps delivered speed. Kiranas delivered trust. And malls delivered experience. Every cart told a different story. A story of aspiration, confidence, and a consumer who knows exactly what they want. As we step into 2026, this is not just about shopping anymore, it's about choosing better. Better value, better convenience, and better experiences. From small towns to big cities. From quick taps on an app to familiar faces at the Kirana store. India's consumer story is only getting stronger. So here's to a new year full of smarter choices, richer experiences, more travel, and more moments worth spending on.